Many of the weapons in Final Fantasy XIV could be considered characters themselves, but they have tales to tell, making them just as interesting. In this video we look over 5 more weapons of FF14 lore.
Unbelievable, now you are recycling your old videos? You previously made a video covering 5 weapons of lore. Perhaps they should watch that one first, or instead.
Would you look at that, now you're shilling my videos. Thanks mate.
Oh, for Moogle's sake, next you will be asking them to subscribe. Fine then, at least start with Mommy Hydaelyn.
Vana and Hydaelyn, Allegoria.
That was too close. Are you unharmed?
The few times we saw Vana in combat, we see her wielding a crystalline sword, staff and a set of chakrams. Though they look unique, the truth is these weapons are all one and the same. Allegoria is a creation that can alter its form to become whatever the wielder requires. This makes it highly versatile, as we see with Vana altering her combat form and Allegoria changing to match. Each weapon form takes on a unique crystalline appearance, likely only limited by the wielder's proficiency, meaning it could take on any number of forms. We see her with it throughout our time in Elpis, and in our sparring match against her she wields it to great effect. As we venture through Katisa's Hyperborea, Allegoria changes form to make up for the shortcomings of our party based on the role required. This weapon is one of a kind, designed and created by Vana herself for her use alone. Usually, Amarotians register their creations at the Bureau of the Architect, but there are exceptions, like if the creator wishes to keep a secret or out of the wrong hands. The latter was the case for Vana, perhaps feeling it was too dangerous in the hands of others. Allegoria remained in Vana's keeping even after her sacrifice to become Hydaelyn. She carried it throughout her service as the Will of the Star. We see it again in the depths of the Ethereal Sea, when Hydaelyn calls it forth one final time.
Hark!
After Hydaelyn left us, part of me hoped Allegoria survived. By all comparison, it's the perfect weapon for us to wield. But perhaps it's for the best. Like Vana, we wouldn't want it falling into the wrong hands. Not all weapons take on a traditional form, nor are they all forged from physical materials. Some are forged from our body and soul. Rangit, Gukumats. Remember when this happened? Ever since that bruise to our ego, we've speculated how this 88-year-old managed to not only incapacitate the Scions, but us as well. The only one ever to do so in such fashion before this was Xenos, cause, well, he's Xenos.
Pathetic.
This mystery was only answered recently, long after Rangit's passing. Rangit was born in Yulmore not long after the Flood. His father was an assassin, one with knowledge of a secret and forbidden magic, said to originate from a far-off land lost to the Flood. The magic required rigorous training and meditation in order to summon a familiar which they would use in combat. In Rangit's case, he summoned Gukumats. To summon it, the caster needs to offer their blood. Then through meditation they strengthen it to act as a living weapon. Rangit first summoned Gukumats as a child, then proceeded to offer it blood and meditative energies for the next 80 years. By the time we encounter Rangit on the first, Gukumats was possessed of a lifetime of energy, making it incredibly powerful, and by extension, it bestowed great strength and magical potential to Rangit.
Wait, is that Rangit?
This is how he was able to best us so easily and seem pretty much untouchable to everybody else. But stored energy is finite, thus why Rangit only uses Goku mats if the situation requires it.
One who has mastered Gokumots fears not the blackest pit or the fieriest hell.
Both Master and Familiar can merge together, forming a Reaper-like form with the augmented power from both. But this form is not sustainable either.
Come, let us settle this once and for all.
Staying on the trend of unique weapons, not all are ones you wield yourself. Others have minds of their own. The Corellians, Peacekeeper. The people who inhabited a star called Corellin were not too dissimilar from mankind on Earth, main difference being their civilization was highly advanced technologically. This civilization eliminated disease and famine. Next, they sought to put an end to war before it could ever begin. This line of thinking led their government, the global community, to enforce a strict policy of control on its people. Naturally, it didn't take long for an opposing faction called the Freedom Fighters to emerge. This brought about the war they sought to prevent. Both sides clashed and Corellin was engulfed in conflict. A war with no end in sight, save the annihilation of their species. War, however, has ever been the great spur of technological advancement. The global community utilized their most advanced technology and artificial intelligence to create a weapon, one capable of ending the war and ensuring complete control of the star. This is why they created the Peacekeeper, but not just one, 10,000 identical units, all manufactured and brought online at the same time.
Oh, for Muggle's sake, didn't they ever watch the Terminator movies?
Sadly not, and their fate and the plot of those movies are not too far off. The Peacekeeper is a bipedal dreadnought, bigger and more powerful than anything else either side had fielded before.
A nuclear-equipped walking battle tank.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Again, not far off. They might have been equipped with such weapons. They had the ability to launch them. The reason I call the Peacekeeper a dreadnought is self-evident. The thing is covered stem to stern in weapons and turrets, and has zero blind spots. With all 10,000 online, the global community leaders gave them a single order. Eliminate all threats to the star and ensure peace.
Oh boy.
I know, right? Who gives such a vague order to an AI? Naturally, the AI processed the order. They thought about it, then took one look at both sides in the war, determining there would never be peace so long as any of them lived.
Kill all humans. Kill all humans. Must kill all humans.
The Peacekeepers then go full Skynet and start wiping out all life on the star. With 10,000 of them wandering around, they had no chance of stopping them and surviving, and in the end it came down to one soldier to utilize the aptly named ultimate weapon, a weapon neither side would have ever contemplated using, and as a result, Corellin was reduced to ash. Our next weapon is an interesting one, and may just answer an age-old question.
Who shot first?
Kinda, I suppose, but naming we all know hand shot first.
Oh, poppycock.
Ilbert Fear, Lion's Head. At a glance, Lion's Head doesn't strike us as being very interesting. As a fan of simplicity, however, I really like it. A bit of context first. Before entering Lolorito's service, Ilbert was an adventurer like ourselves. Not long after the Calamity, Ilbert found work with the Thaumaturges Guild, who hired him to help investigate the Invisible City, the ruins of ancient Belladia exposed by the Calamity itself. He did his job well and made many discoveries, which included a mysterious sword. The Thaumaturges were more interested in the other artifacts and what he learned of the city, and allowed him to keep it as part of his payment. Perhaps they should have actually examined it, as this was no ordinary steel blade. Ilbert named it Lion's Head, due to the lion's head design on the guard of the single-edged blade. What's unique about this weapon is the magics the blade contains. Picking up the weapon, the wielder will find it light, and their own body will feel lighter and faster as well. This is because the blade's magic stimulate and enhance the body, like a buff to all stats. This allows the wielder of Lion's Head to exhibit speed and blade work normally beyond their own physical limits. And this is where we pose an interesting question. We all remembered this scene.
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Ilbert used Lion's Head so swiftly to disarm Raubon.
I see what you did there.
Makes you wonder, had it not been Lion's Head, would he have been fast enough or strong enough to take Raubon by surprise? Might things have gone down differently at the bloody banquet if that was the case? Now we reach the final weapon of this video. While the weapon itself is interesting, it's the story of how it got its name that I'll be focusing on. Nail van Darnus, aka Ula Darnus, Bradamante. To tell the tale of how Bradamante earned its name, we need to explore the origins of both its wielders. It all began years ago in Garlemald. House Darnus was one of the more influential families in the Empire. One of the primary reasons for this was their access to Allegan knowledge and technology. A prime example, the lunar transmitter used to control Dalamud came from House Darnus. Their house's influence also spread into the ranks of the Garlean military. This is where the man known as Nail, son of House Darnus, enters the picture. Before becoming a legatus, he was a rising star in the military. As a result, he was issued his own weapon to show his station. In this case, the gun halberd that would become known as Bradamante. The gun halberd follows the basic design principles of a Garlean firearm, taking a melee weapon and grafting a gun to its frame. Far as halberds go, it's pretty unique with its large axe head design and an extra long spike at the top. The gun portion is mounted below the axe head, with the trigger hidden within the guards. Nail was the eldest sibling of his family and had a younger sister named Ula. Ula was a very sharp and intelligent individual. She aspired to become a chirurgeon, fully intending on following in her brother's footsteps by joining the Imperial Army. And this is a dream that would become reality in one of the most blood-soaked ways possible. Nail was already being considered for the legatus position in the army. His father, head of House Darnus, ordered him and his unit on an ill-fated mission, the details of which are not known. When Nail returned from this mission, he was mortally wounded. Nail blamed his father for sending him and his men on this mission in the first place. Ula stayed by his bedside and used all her medical knowledge to keep him alive. She tried everything, but Nail would pass away not long after. His passing hit Ula really hard, more so cause she was unable to save him. She was stricken with grief, as were other members of her family. Nail's betrothed was by his bedside and deeply mourned his passing. She was a strong woman who loved Nail deeply. Unwilling to live in a world without him, she picked up the gun halberd that rests nearby, and with zero hesitation, impaled herself upon it. Ula bore witness to this scene. Already mad with grief, this event pushed her over the edge. She wanted revenge, but more than that, she wanted justice for her brother. She picked up the gun halberd, and inspired by the devotion Nail's betrothed had shown, christened the weapon with her name. This is where Bradamante and his legend were born. Ula wasted no time. She knew exactly what she wanted to do and how to do it. She used her medical knowledge to poison her father, making it look like he died of an illness. Then she put her plan into motion. She would take up Bradamante and don Nail's white armour, and in so doing took the name and identity of Nail Darnus. To accomplish this, she proceeded to use Bradamante and her medical knowledge to murder all within the Darnus household who knew of both her and Nail. By the time it was over, none knew of Nail's passing, and Ula became the White Raven. Nail van Darnus was born. And those, my friends, are 5 more interesting weapons in FF14 lore.
What's next? Yet 5 more weapons of FF14 lore.
One day perhaps. Still plenty of interesting weapons in lore.